Hey, what's going on, everyone? Mike here. Today we're going to do the Q&A. I decided to do it at my computer. I have a bunch of stuff I'm working on, and this is a lot easier to record without editing. So I just wanted to get to the questions, make sure I got the Q&A done this week. I do appreciate all the questions you guys submitted. There's lots of them. Again, the support has been tremendous, so thank you so much. Continue to ask questions. Leave them down in the comments below, and we'll get to them next week. I love this interactive kind of media where you guys can join in and, get your question asked to the entire community. That way, people have been responding in the videos, which I appreciate all the extra help, and it answers a question maybe a bunch of other people didn't want to ask or didn't have the time to ask. So the first question comes from Beavis Jones. He says, how do you know if your inventory you sent in to Amazon is mixed with other people's inventory? Obviously, he's referring to commingled inventory, which we talked about in last week's Q&A, and it's something you have to opt into. They don't just put your items with other items. But I believe a lot, or at least when I signed up, I believe it checked me to opt in automatically. So if you didn't know that, then you might not know your items are being mixed in. The important thing to know is if you want your items to be commingled, then it's fine. But if you don't want that system, in case, just like I showed an example last week, there could be issues, then all you have to do is uncheck it and opt out, or just label your items individually. And that brings us to the next question, in which Darren T says, if you label your items you send to FBA, can they still be commingled? And the answer is technically no. I've heard of situations where people claim that their items were commingled even though they were labeled. However, according to Amazon's system, there's no way for them to be commingled because the barcode wouldn't match the barcode on the commingled items. Next question comes from David Frederick. He said, I never start an, or this is more of a statement actually. He says, I never start an auction on eBay for less than the amount I am willing to accept. I know a lot of eBay sellers start their auctions at 99 cents, but as far as I'm concerned, you're playing with fire. And David, I feel this is a good point, but you have to take other things into consideration. I mean, if you're selling an item that's extremely rare or extremely popular, and you know there's going to be a lot of bids, then you're not really playing with fire. You know that you can make money off of it. However, if you are selling something that's a little obscure, it might not have a lot of views, or it doesn't have a great following, then you definitely can put yourself in a bad situation quick. So do your research, see how desirable the item is, and then make the decision on how you want to price things. I've started plenty of wholesale auctions at 99 cents and done extremely well. Jeffrey says, when you're buying big lots, you can never go over every single title there is in some of the mixed game systems. So my question is, how much will you spend on video games per unit? For instance, PS3, 2, and 1, Xbox, Nintendo. Do you have an overall price limit that you set per system price? Hey Jeff, good question, but it's my system is not so, I guess, clear cut. It's a little harder to explain. I use a lot of judgment and a lot less like cut in stone rules. I'm not like, oh, I can only spend this much on Nintendo, or oh, I can only spend this much. It's more of like I look at the overall value of things, and in my head I compute them, and then I say I can afford to pay this much and still make a profit, and then that's my max bid when I'm sniping. If I'm out locally, usually I don't have that issue because at yard sales and flea markets, the prices are pretty low. But that being said, of course, I do look at the unit price sometimes. For instance, I bought this giant lot of Wii games recently, and my max bid was $3 per game. I ended up winning it for like $2 per game. There were multiple games selling for $30 or $40 each, so I did really well. And sometimes I'll look at things and do that. However, it's not a clear-cut situation in each one. It's a little hard to explain to other people. I just have a system in place that works in my head. There's a lot more judgment involved and a lot less cut in stone rules. The average breeder said, I need your help. I have some new puzzles I want to send in to Amazon FBA, but the boxes are roughed up a little. I'm wondering if I can still sell them as new. One is kind of crushed and the other has a hole in the box. How do I go about selling these on Amazon? This is a great question. I know it was covered in the comments, but I want to talk about this some more. You absolutely do not want to send anything into Amazon as brand new, especially FBA, if it's damaged. Because if you go to FBA and you win the buy box, which just your item with a little buy button underneath it, there's no item description, which means that person believes it's 100% brand new. Damaged boxes are not 100% brand new. The product might be brand new, but they're expecting a pristine product. So you need to list this under the used category, follow Amazon Warehouse's deal or Amazon Warehouse deals example, and they sell new damaged products, so like new with damaged packaging for a premium or a lowered price, I guess. And they list them as like new or very good or something along those lines. Explain that it's new and that it's damaged because those items can't win the buy box. Therefore, people have to read the description. What he said, here's my question: 3 to 7 days or 30 days for buy it now listings, and why? I assume short buy it now listings get more visibility, but long term listings are a time saver, not having to relist every few days. Yeah, Woody, you're right. Technically, the short term buy it now would get more visibility because you're going to get the ending soonest and the newly listed more often. Every time you list, you get the newly listed, I guess for maybe an hour, it puts your rank way up. And then as your item's ending, probably the last hour, your rank goes way up. So if you were to do 3 days, for example, every 3 days you would get those two advantages. However, it's going to cost you a lot more money down the road. So you have to weigh those things. I would say, personally, if you have a lot of listings, 30 days or good till canceled is the way to go if you have a lot of stuff. Now, if you're selling a few items that you are worth good value and you want to get them sold, then maybe the shorter listings will fit you better. Everyone has their different system. Everyone has something different that works for them. I know people that list every 7 days. I know people who do good to cancel. They both do well. It's just a matter of your business model and what you want to accomplish. If you're looking to turn and burn, good till cancel might not be the way to go. That being said, if you're looking to turn and burn, auctions might be the way to go. Buy it now probably isn't the best fit either. Steve Yergza from our Facebook group said something yesterday, and I wanted to cover that in this video because it's kind of important. He said, listening to Michael's video, he mentioned sending in loose discs to FBA and paper sleeves, which I thought was not allowed by Amazon. Am I missing something? Or can you send in games like that? Do you still have to polybag them or just secure them in the paper sleeve with the barcode? And this was a good statement, and I want to go over it because I looked up Amazon specific rules on it because I had never heard any issues with this. And basically, if you have a loose item of any type, it either needs to be polybagged or secured in something so it can't move around. And they give specific examples. And a lot of them, they're talking about like belts that have the ring around them and they can slide out. So they want those polybagged or secured around this way, in some type of sleeve. And so technically that's a paper sleeve. It fits their criteria. I've never heard of anyone having issues with it. So I don't think it's an issue. And definitely read up on the rules if you're concerned about Amazon FBA rules. There are a lot of shipping rules, but they're categorized really easily to understand. Jeff Monroe said, about 40% of the Nintendo 64's I buy on Craigslist don't work. Now, I wanted to cover this, Jeff, because this is a really important thing. If you're ever buying video games on Craigslist, that means you're meeting someone somewhere, potentially at their house. If you're spending top dollar for games, like say you're paying the highest you want to pay for Nintendo 64, don't consider buying it unless you make them prove that it works in some way, because you can easily get ripped off. If you get ripped off on Craigslist, it's not like you really have anyone to cover you. I mean, if you bought it from the house, you know where they live, but I mean, what are you going to do? Knock on the door and throw a fit about the $30 or $40 you spend on video games or whatever? So the thing is, ask them to prove to you that it works. And a lot of people aren't trying to rip you off. A lot of people don't know about retro video games and just don't get it. So this happens quite often, actually. Just do your research, make sure you're covered in any way you can be, and then go about it that way. Emily says, I'm a new FBA seller. Occasionally, when I go to list items, it puts my shipping amount where I enter my items into the inventory. Why is the shipping configured this way for FBA seller? Thanks for any help. Hey Emily, I've covered this in the past, but I want to bring this up again because it gets missed a lot. It's really important. There's a glitch on Amazon's system that will often add the shipping cost to your FBA. It's just a facade. It doesn't actually add it, and it's something that should be ignored because you're not going to get the revenue from it. So do not price your item minus that amount because you think you're going to get that amount as well. You will not get that amount. Price your item accordingly and ignore that. That's really something that does not affect you personally, and I'm not sure why part of their system shows it, but then if you use the other listing interface, it does not. It's really confusing to new sellers. Just ignore it and move on with your day. Price accordingly without that extra charge. All right, everyone. Well, I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much. I have been extremely busy this week. I got another Amazon FBA shipment out. I finished our website, our community website's done. I've been working on a bunch of videos, behind the scenes stuff. I have a huge list of video requests that I've been trying to get recorded and edited. I know Q4 is coming and I'm going to get super busy, and I don't want to fall too behind on content. I do apologize with videos coming out late sometimes. I always prioritize business above videos. As much as I love all of you, I have to continue to make money online. And yesterday, my FBA shipment took a little longer than I wanted, and so I wasn't able to record this when I wanted. But it's here now. I appreciate all the support. Hit that thumbs up button. If you have questions for me, leave them down below. If you want to check out our new website, you can go over to onlinesellersunite.com. Give me your feedback. I want to know your feedback on the site, how it looks, how it functions. You can sign up for the newsletter on the left side. That'll give you updates whenever I post. And if you want to support the channel directly, I have an Amazon affiliate link down below. You can support us directly, no extra cost to you. Thanks again. Have a great day.